Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be diving into something we literally look at every single day, but completely misunderstand: the animal kingdom. You see, as humans, we have some pretty serious biases. We look at nature through our own very specific human-centric lens. And because of that, well, our expectations are often totally out of line with reality. We just assume we understand what it means to be successful in the wild, or what it means to show affection, simply by looking at things from our own perspective. But today, we're going to completely flip the script and shatter those illusions.
So think about it. Do we have the animal kingdom completely backwards? As humans, we're hardwired to admire overdominance, immense physical power, and really obvious over-the-top displays of affection. And because of those specific biases, we've developed massive misconceptions about two major things in the natural world: how animals actually show love, and what it truly takes to be a winner in the wild.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our dossier of misunderstood animals for today. We'll be hitting 5 points. 1. Rethinking animal stereotypes. 2. The truth about cat love. 3. Feline affection explained. 4. The predator and prey myth. And 5. Why prey actually win. We are busting 2 massive myths today, so let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, Rethinking Animal Stereotypes.
Consider our typical human ideals: dogs and apex predators. You know, if you leave a dog alone for just 10 minutes, you walk back in and it acts like you've just returned from some highly dangerous, years-long expedition. The excitement is obvious, and we absolutely love that. Similarly, we look at lions, wolves, and sharks as these majestic, powerful kings of nature. But on the flip side, we have the supposed lesser animals. We've got cats, who seem aloof, ignore you for hours, and just stare at walls. And prey animals, who we just picture as weak, nervous, and constantly running for their lives. But what if this entire framework is completely wrong?
Let's move to Section 2, The Truth About Cat Love.
For a really long time, scientists actually struggled to figure out feline behavior. I mean, unlike dogs, which evolved right alongside humans in highly social cooperative groups, domestic cats descended from largely solitary wildcats. Their ancestors didn't rely on cooperation or pack living to survive at all. And because of this solitary history, they are unusually difficult to study. For decades, researchers literally just assumed cats merely tolerated humans, mostly because they didn't have the evolutionary software for pack loyalty.
But then, researchers started taking feline behavior much more seriously, and the evidence painted a totally different picture. 65%! Back in 2019, researchers at Oregon State University adapted this psychological experiment originally meant for human infants. It's called the Secure Base Test. They wanted to see if cats actually use their caregivers as a safe base to explore unfamiliar environments. And the results? Absolutely astounding. Around 65% of the cats tested displayed a secure emotional attachment to their owners. When their humans were in the room, the cats were significantly more comfortable and confident. They aren't just tolerating us, guys. They are emotionally relying on us.
That brings us to Section 3, Feline Affection Explained.
Okay, let's talk about aloe rubbing. You know when your cat casually headbutts your leg or rubs its cheek against your face? Most people just assume that's territory marking, kind of like claiming a piece of furniture. And technically, yeah, it does release pheromones from their scent glands. But here is the secret. Cats also do this to other cats they genuinely like in order to create a shared group scent. So when your cat headbutts you, they aren't treating you like a sofa. They're actually marking you as a highly trusted member of their exclusive social circle.
And then, of course, we have the famous slow blink sequence. Step 1, eye contact. Step 2, slowly close the eyes. Step 3, open them again. It seems like nothing, right? Just a sleepy cat. But in the animal kingdom, voluntarily closing your eyes around someone requires immense trust. You are temporarily lowering your environmental awareness and making yourself completely vulnerable. Researchers found in 2020 that this actually functions as a form of positive communication between cats and humans. It's a profound signal of comfort.
Let's rapidly decode a few other feline trust signals you probably see literally every day. Sleeping beside you? From an evolutionary standpoint, sleep is an incredibly vulnerable state. Choosing to do it near you means they trust you with their life. What about social monitoring? You know, when you close the bathroom door and your cat sits outside staring at it like a disappointed security guard? That's not just annoying dependency, that's them keeping a protective eye on an important member of their environment. Aloe grooming, or licking you, reinforces social bonds. And those lovely dead mice they bring you? Scientists believe that's directed social sharing. They aren't dropping mice randomly around the neighborhood. They are specifically bringing those gifts to you as a high-level sign of affection. And just to officially put that whole opportunist myth to rest once and for all, studies have put food and toys head-to-head with human interaction to see what cats actually prioritize. When put to the test, many cats actually preferred interacting with humans over receiving food or toys. So no, they aren't running some elaborate scam for a free meal. They just have a very strange, historically solitary way of showing that they care. Let's shift gears now to Section 4. The predator and prey myth.
So let's talk about the incredibly harsh reality of being an apex predator. It all comes down to hunt success rates. We tend to think of African lions as these unstoppable kings, but they only actually succeed in 20 to 30% of their hunting attempts. Cheetahs succeed less than half the time. Wolves can spend days pursuing prey without a guaranteed meal. The truth is, predators live incredibly hard lives. Hunting is exhausting, and unlike herbivores who can just casually walk over to the next patch of grass, if a predator misses a hunt, they literally face starvation. Every single missed meal carries a massive, life-threatening cost.
And this all perfectly ties into the broader ecosystem through the basic energy pyramid. Step 1. Plants capture energy from the sun. Step 2. Herbivores eat the plants. Step 3. Carnivores eat the herbivores. But here is the massive catch. At each step, a huge fraction of energy is lost. Because of this harsh physical reality, ecosystems simply cannot support large numbers of predators. Nature itself is mathematically and physically built to favor prey.
To put this into perspective, the data here is just staggering. We're talking global cattle populations at around 1.5 billion. Sheep are well over a billion. There are hundreds of millions of deer. Meanwhile, large predators often number in the tens of thousands or sometimes even less. Think about this. There are more rabbits in some specific regions than there are lions on the entire planet. From a purely evolutionary perspective, prey animals are overwhelmingly winning this game by sheer volume.
Which perfectly sets up Section 5. Why prey actually win.
Let's look at how they bounce back. Prey species produce multiple litters incredibly fast. Rodents and rabbits reach adulthood in months, and they can recover from brutal winters or disease outbreaks in just a few short generations. Predators, on the other hand, they raise very few offspring over several years. A lioness might only raise a few cubs every couple years. This means when humans disturb an ecosystem, predators struggle big time to recover and are the very first to drastically decline. Meanwhile, prey animals like deer, pigeons, and rats, they adapt, they thrive, and they even explode in population right inside our concrete cities.
The really crucial takeaway here is that prey rely on incredibly advanced, coordinated survival strategies rather than just raw muscle. They use sheer numbers, constant vigilance, high speeds, advanced camouflage, and super complex communication like alarm calls and sentries. Because they use these highly coordinated systems, most prey spend surprisingly little time actually being hunted. A deer or zebra isn't constantly running for its life. They spend most of their time resting, socializing, and feeding. The fear is real, for sure, but the actual risk at any given moment is way lower than we imagine. And meanwhile, it turns out predators aren't even safe at the very top. They face intense, constant danger from their own kind. Lions fight other lions, wolves battle rival packs, male bears fight brutally for territory. In fact, some studies suggest that predator-on-predator conflict is literally one of the leading causes of death for large carnivores. The ultimate irony here is that being at the top of the food chain doesn't mean you can relax. It means you are constantly fighting to defend your position from other predators.
When you look back through our evolutionary timeline, this reality becomes so obvious. 400 million years ago, sharks completely dominated the oceans, yet today, many species are highly vulnerable. 10,000 years ago, massive saber-toothed cats roamed the earth, but they went completely extinct, while many of their prey's relatives survived and thrived. And today, prey animals adapt and explode in population right alongside human urbanization. Being powerful clearly doesn't guarantee long-term success. Flexibility and adaptability matter far, far more than dominance.
So I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. Evolution doesn't care about looking impressive. Evolution cares about survival and reproduction. We naturally admire predators because we like power and we like looking tough. But if you were an engineer designing an animal from scratch, with the sole goal of surviving for millions of years through climate shifts, natural disasters, and human expansion, you wouldn't build a lion, you would build a deer.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to challenge you to permanently rethink our very human-centric idea of success in nature.
When you really look at the data, the populations, the evolutionary history, and the harsh reality of survival in the natural world, is it actually better to be feared or to be food? Think about that the next time you see a pigeon on the street or a cat headbutting your leg. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and keep exploring.